Now that we've talked about the situation in Jos, I think it's just right for us to talk about, Afghanistan right now before we go too deep into, the program for today. Let's talk about the Taliban forces taking over Afghanistan, even as the president is,
That's what away. I spent my entire weekend feasting on Afghanistan, and there's a book I have. I'm not borrowing anyone.
You'll borrow me.
The book is called The Afghan.
You'll
If
borrow.
you want to know
I think, yes,
about
it's a novel.
Afghanistan,
Yeah,
read The Afghan. It's a novel by Jeffrey Archer.
yeah, Jeffrey Archer.
But
No.
that's the book that opened your eye to Afghanistan. The tribes, the Pashtuns, the Talibs, the violence in their hearts. That's why the Mullah Omar, in 2001, when the US first arrived in Afghanistan, he told them, you have the watches. We have
Of the time.
It's 20 years. It's clear. The Americans probably wear all the watches, but the Taliban have the time. He waited patiently for 20 years. So the Americans left in April. The people started in April. They have taken Afghanistan back 100%. Yesterday, they took Kabul without a bullet. They didn't need a bullet. They put the Mujahideen at the entrance into Kabul and told them, no, we are going in. And they went in. They took the presidential palace. I mean, it was
Walkover.
It was a walkover. They're calling football. That's what they call it. The president Ghani fled. In fact, he left 3 Range Rovers of cash, of US cash, dollars. His bodyguards were fighting over that one. He used helicopter. He fled, maybe to Uzbekistan, maybe Tajikistan. And that was probably the end. The Taliban have set up a government, appointed the governor for Kabul. They've taken Jalalabad. They've taken the biggest cities in Afghanistan already. It's back to Taliban rule in Afghanistan. And pre-2000, before 9/11 attacks, Afghanistan was the hub for international terror because Taliban and the Al Qaeda were in bed. And in that country, they plotted what became 9/11, the biggest most vicious attack on American soil. Yeah. The biggest fear in the world now is we hope that because I've not officially seen the Taliban and the Al Qaeda go their separate ways. They're probably still hand in hand, and that Afghanistan has the world's biggest opium market. Now they'll begin to sell opium again, and they'll begin to dilly-dally with Al Qaeda again, and terror will reign supreme. In fact, one of the first things they asked for when they took power yesterday, the list of girls and women. They've asked the girls not to go back to school. The girls in university don't go back to school on Monday, and that most of the girls should be married off to the Mujahideen. Mujahideen are their warriors. They are fighters. It's back to that. You need to read The Afghan. That book by Jeffrey Archer. You open your eye completely to the Taliban culture, the real culture of the Talibs. But it's unfortunate. The American government spent $2 trillion, 20 years. They spent $19 billion to train Afghan forces. That's the laziest force ever trained in this world because they didn't put up a fight at all. I thought that for Kabul at least, there will have been some effort, some attempt to protect Kabul, even if for one day. The way they just gave up, $90 billion down the drain. Really sad, but that's what violence is. Really. And the Afghan government also knew that. To what extent are we going to really begin to fight the Taliban who have taken perhaps the entire country except Kabul? So they just give up easily. Most of the people in government in Afghanistan already fled long ago. Their children, their family members had already left. Yesterday, the US government was trying to protect the perimeter of the Kabul airport best they could do. They have 6,000 troops trying to do that. The US is suffering. At the end of the day, around 3 a.m. this morning, they lowered their flag at the embassy. That's the end of the United States in Afghanistan. Once again. It was a massive loss. And people are blaming President Joe Biden. But he wasn't the one who initiated people. It was Mr. Trump. But Mr. Trump also issued a statement yesterday. He said you couldn't manage what I have arranged for you.
Of course, it always happens like that.
Yeah. Big international politics days. Because China is just watching by the side. China might really think that the US is withdrawing from Afghanistan so you can have more attention on the Pacific. But this, as far as I'm concerned, is a big defeat for the United States and its role in the world.
Wow.
Did you enjoy this video? Hit the subscribe button for more. Leave a comment and like. Thank you.